Eily leflugi kaimetz. If you're going to say that he's coming to make the kaimetz pigel, kaimetz mi mefagel. Does the kaimetz itself become pigel? But tanan. But it was taught in the Mishnah, l'dvarim shein chayav alayim mishum pigel. There, the following, it doesn't become. You're not chayav if you eat it, because it's pigel. Why? Which ones? Hakaimetz v'chulu. We quoted this a few lines up, so it doesn't go through the whole thing. But one of them is clearly, the first one is the kaimetz. It doesn't become pigel. Elapshita, rather it's obvious, leflugi shirayim, that it's coming to make the shirayim pigel. When you think about the kaimetz, the shirayim are becoming pigel. Hashta now, over there, he's not thinking about the shirayim. And nevertheless, mefagli, they become pigel. Hacha, the chashabu bezvicha gufei. Over here, he is thinking about the legs, or one of the legs. Like kolshkein, should it for sure not become pigel? The left leg should not become pigel. If the shirayim become pigel, for sure the legs should become pigel. Okay. Ella Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, Hainu time with Rabbi Yossi. Really, Rabbi Yossi holds by the two legs that one would make the other one pigel. So why, by the loaves of bread, does it not become pigel? Whether it's the loaves of Shavuos or whether it's the loaves of Shabbos or the lechem apanim. Why? He says the reason for Rabbi Yossi is different. He says hakasav asan guf echad v'hakasav asan shnei gufim. If you look at the psukim, it sounds like they're one body or they're two bodies. It says from your dwelling places you should bring lechem tinufa. A bread that's waved. Then it says shtayim, two of them. So it calls them one and it calls them two. So guf echad demak v'adadi. It makes them into one body that they're ma'akiv one at the other. That means that if you only bring one, it's no good. In other words, if only one is kosher, or for whatever reason the other one is not, if one is not kosher, the other one's not kosher either. Shnei gufim, why does it make them into two? Regarding what does it make it into two bodies, two entities? The Amar Rachmana, halachu de avida v'halachu de avida. The Torah says, Rachmana means the Eibishter, but in the yeshivas we always say the Torah. That's a whole philosophical problem. That they have to be made separately. That means you need them, you need the dough separately of the two loaves, that they're made separately. It's not like you make a big dough and then you just make two loaves afterwards, like the way we would make challah for Shabbos. But actually the dough is made separately because it says shtayim, that they're made two. And arvinu misarvin. If you mix them together, they get joined. That kasavasum gufechad. Because the Torah made them one body. When we say if you mix them together, what we mean is, if you say a half azayas from this and a half azayas from that, they will be joined together as one. If you have like the wrong thoughts of by that kazayas. Palginu, if you divide them, miflagi, they'll be divided. Why? So the reason for Rabbi Yossi is that if you have thoughts of only one of them, the Torah calls them two loaves. Only one would become pigel. If I have thoughts of a kazayas of both of them, then they'll both be pigel. So it's because it's based on a pasuk. It's not that automatically everything is divided up, and then we're going to compare this to legs and other things.
So they support Rabbi Yossi's opinion by saying there's this pasuk that said, and he would say this in this base, and he would say something else, somewhere else.
Right. So this will resolve why, according to Rabbi Yossi, if you have thoughts of the shirai of the haktorah sakaimetz or the haktorah sakaimetz, that the shirayim become pigel because it's one mincha. Okay.
Whereas with the bread,
by those situations, the Torah divides it up and combines it. So therefore, it depends what the person's thoughts are.
But the Chachamim would still disagree.
And the sages said that it's all one, right? Boy, Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan has a question. Pigel balach mitay demao. Is there a machlekes between Rabbi Yossi and the Rabbanan by the lach meitaida? We have 4 types of bread. They're all different types of bread. Will we say the same thing applies? We only said that it applies to the 2 loaves of Shavuos. We said that it applies to the loaves of Shabbos. What would happen there? He says, oh, I'm sorry, I just skipped. B'minchas mafa mao. What about minchas mafa? By the mincha of that's baked in the oven, there happens to be there's two types that are baked. There's 5 loaves of each. One is chalas and one is wafers, like kikin. So because you have 2 different types, do they divide and pigel in one doesn't become pigel in the other, according to Rabbi Yossi, but the rabbis would say that it's both. So Tanalei Rav Tachlifa, it's either Mimarava or Barmarava. That in the conclusion of that Mishnah that says there's a machlekes Rabbi Yossi and the Rabbanan regarding if they combine, you shall say the same regarding these 2 next cases, that the machlekes exists by them as well. So he taught that, and that would be our answer. Tana Rabbanan. The rabbis taught Shashchita Chishav Lechal Chatzi Zayis. While he's shechting the sacrifice, he thinks about eating half a zayis in the wrong time. Shas Rika, when he's sprinkling the blood, Chishav Lechal Chatzi Zayis. He thinks about eating half a zayis. It's pigel.
Another
very surprising that the shchita and the zrika should combine.
Wow.
Mipnei, another half a zayis. I didn't emphasize that. Mipnei shechita zrika mitzdarfim, because the shchita and the zrika they combine. Ikad Amri. There are those that say
tricky because before we said I'm going to eat a kazayas, and we were willing to combine 2 parts to make that kazayas. But before we clearly made the distinction that if he had said I want a half a kazayas from here and a half a kazayas from here, that wouldn't be a problem.
See, what this is really similar to is what we said before. If one slaughters one lamb to eat a half a zayis of 1 loaf, and then he does the same with the other one, Rabbi says that it's kosher.
Right.
Now the thing is that this is not 2 separate lambs. This is one sacrifice, and there's 2 services of the sacrifice. There's 2 matirim. You're having the wrong thoughts by both of these matirim. The shchita and the zrika, both of them are matirim. However, you are having a full kazayas of it combined. Okay. Ikadami shchita zrika de tavayim matirim nino in. Kabbalah vaylachalai. There are those that say that since the shchita and the zrika are both matirim, so then those can combine. However, receiving the blood and walking the blood up to the altar. Is it walking the blood or walking the organs? Oh. Whenever we say halacha, what are we referring to? I guess it's too basic of a question. It doesn't explain it. So walking up to the altar with one of with the blood of the organs. Some say that will not combine because they're not connected well enough. They're not matirim. They're significant, but they don't allow anything else to be permitted. They're not permitters. Those 2. Not like the sprinkling of the blood that now permits the meat to be eaten, or the shchita which now permits the blood to be sprinkled. So those don't combine. Vikadamri, the others say that hanach de merachkin, if shchita, which is the beginning of the service, and zrika, which is the end of the service, those combine. Kolshkin hani de mekarvin, for sure, the receiving of the blood and the walking it to the altar, for sure that should combine, because that's right consecutive. That's right after each other. Where it says, Eily, is this really so? That there is an opinion that says that anything could combine. But Tani Levi, but Levi taught, and Levi also had brises. Just like Rabbi and Rabbi had brises, Levi also had brises. There's collections of...
Who was Levi?
he's definitely a student of Rabbi, like first generation Amiran, and it's possibly Rabbi Shua ben Levi's father. Rabbi Shua ben Levi that we have.
Rabbi Yehuda Nasi was the last generation of Tanoim, and his
students are first generation Amiran, and some of them get put into Tanoim as well. Rav maybe is a Tana. It's the borderline. Arba Avodas. He's taught that there's 4 services. Ein mitzdarfis lepigel. That something of the services do not combine. I'm adding that in based on Rashi. Something of the services do not combine for pigel. Shchita uzrika kabbalah v'hilacha. Obviously, there's something here that doesn't combine. So Amar Rava says, like kasha, it's not a problem, because ha Rebbe, ha Rabbanan. One is the opinion of Rebbe, and one's the opinion of the Rabbanan.
So what's the Havamina that they should have combined?
Yeah, well, it's apparently, there's an opinion earlier that says that all of those things should combine. Thoughts, half a kazayas by each one of those services should combine. The Tanya was taught in the Braisa, Shrek Resa Kevas Lechal Chatzizayis Michal Azu, V'chein Chavere Lechal Chatzizayis Michal Azu. There's 2 lambs that are brought on Shavuos. He slaughters one and he has thoughts of a half azayas of one challah. Slaughters the other one, he has thoughts of a half azayas of the other challah. Rabbi says, I say, Shazek Kasha, that this is permissible. You see, Rabbi holds that things don't combine. Amalei Abaya says, Rabbi Chatzi Matir v'Chatzi Achila doesn't combine. Half a matir, which is the shchita of one animal, and the half a matir is the shchita of the other animal, and Chatzi Achila, half azayas, and the half azayas. You have 2 problems here. You divided everything up. When you're doing the service, when you had the thoughts, you could divide it, and what you're having the thoughts about, you divide it up. Each one is only half. But kula matir v'Chatzi Achila mishametle. What about if you have not half a matir, but you have a full matir, but you only have half a kazayas? What would Rebbe say then? So why is this considered kula matir? Because we're saying that the shchita and the zrika are considered not half a matir; they're considered a full matir, because the shchita is a full matir. If I would have shchita, if I have thoughts of a whole kazayas by the shchita, that wouldn't be considered a half a matir, where the rabbis would argue with their mayor, oh, you only had thoughts by half a matir. The shchita is a full matir. By that full matir, I had thoughts of half azayas. But now I have another full matir of the zrika. That's a full matir. I have thoughts of half azayas. So that's considered a full matir, as opposed to the 2 lambs. Each one is only half a matir of the loaves. I need both of them to be matir those loaves. This shchita is matir the dam, 100%. It's a full matir on the dam. The zrika is a full matir on the basar. So now I'm having thoughts of by a full matir of half azayas. Who says that? This is Abaya's question. Who says that Rebbe would disagree with that? I'm just thinking how far I can get before we break. Give me another 2 minutes. Let's see if we can come to a spot that we can stop. So, Amalei Rava bar Rav Chanan la Abaya. Rava bar Rav Chanan says to Abaya. Rava bar Rav Chanan, I believe, is a son-in-law of Rav, so he's much older. If Rebbe would hold that there is a difference, and kula mater and chatzi achila is a problem. That means the shchita, you think about half a kazayas. The zrika, you think about half a kazayas. That's kula mater, but each one is only a half. So ligzar chatzi mater v'chatzi achila atu kula mater v'chatzi achila. Then Rebbe should have made a gezerah on half a mater and half a achila. Why does Rebbe say by the 2 lambs it's kosher? You should have said that it's pasul, because he makes a gezerah of 1 step up. if it would have been a kula mater and half achila, then you would have made a gezerah. If kula mater chatzi achila is 100% aser, it's pigel, then you would have made a gezerah that it's aser derabanan on half a mater, half achila, and he doesn't do that. He says that it's entirely kosher. What does that tell me? That kula mater v'chatzi achila is also not is also not pigel. The Rabbi Yosi gazar v'Rabbanan gazri, because Rabbi Yosi made a gezerah like this, and the Rabbanan also made a gezerah. Rabbi Yosi gazar d'tanan. Where do we see Rabbi Yosi made a gezerah? L'hakti levaynasa l'machar. If someone has intention to offer up the levayna the following day, which Rabbi Yosi holds that is not pigel, but nevertheless, what does Rabbi Yosi say? Rabbi Yosi Amar pasel vein baikaris. Rabbi Yosi says the levayna is separate from the mincha, but nevertheless, it's pasel. That means there's a gzeira there. Pasel means that it's invalid, but it's not pigel. How do you get it to be invalid if it's not pigel? Because there's a gzeira. The Chacham say that it is actually pigel. Where do we see that the Rabbanan make a gzeira? The Rabbanan nami gazri. Ditnan pigel b'kaimetz v'lei b'levayna. If someone has thoughts of pigel by the kaimetz but not by the levayna, b'levayna v'lei b'kaimetz, Reb Meir aimer pigel v'chayav kares v'chayav alav kares. Reb Meir, what we're talking about here is that by the burning of the kaimetz, he has thoughts of pigel, of when he's going to eat the shirayim, but he doesn't have thoughts by the burning of the levayna. So he said these are both half a mater. The burning of the kaimetz and the burning of the levayna, not the kmitza itself. The kmitza itself we said was a full mater. However, Chum say that you need to have the whole mater. But what do they say nevertheless? Ein baikaris. That means that it's possible. That means that they make a gzeira. Amalei hachi hashta. Says hold it. Bishlei mahasam gazer Rabbi Yosi kaimetz to levayna to kaimetz to mincha. Over there, Rabbi Yosi made a gzeira of the kaimetz of the levayna because of the kaimetz of the mincha. Rabbanan gazri kaimetz to kaimetz the mincha skaite, and the Rabbanan also made a gzeira of kaimetz because of a kaimetz of mincha skaite. Where in that case you don't have levayna. Or levayna, there's another gzeira at levayna hababi bazichen, because over there that's the full mater. Kvasim nami keves atu keves chaverei. That's a full mater. It's a gzeira because of its friend, the keves, because it's so similar. Bazach atu bazach chaverei. Elahacham yika chatzi mater v'chatzi achila ba'alma delekim b'ligzar. But over here, do we have chatzi achila and chatzi mater that we should make a gzeira on the shchita to the zrika? Each one is over here it's a full mater. Where is it the half a mater? By the stop right here.
Okay.
Stop right here. We'll go through that tomorrow. Bezos Hashem, that last piece.
Wow.
Okay.